In this episode, I shall try to answer the question, what is art? If I discuss what art is, I will also ask, what is it for? What is the essence of art? What is the point of it? What is creativity? Who are the artists? What does it mean to be an artist? Do we even know what art is? Is it a personal expression, or we all agree upon certain elements that art is, or should be? How does art influence society and culture, or is it the other way around? I shall try to answer these questions, not only throughout this episode, but throughout this podcast. If I'm about to define art, I need to answer a question of what is the meaning of life. It's a challenge. Art has been around since the beginning of time, heightening our senses and emotions, challenging our perceptions. The reason for creating art are different and unique, as one's individual hair on the head. Art involves the creation of visual, auditory, or performance-based works that invoke an aesthetic or emotional response in the audience. Art's definition and meaning are different among cultures, eras, and individuals. What one person considers art, other may not. Art is experienced always on a personal level. For example, one of my favorite paintings in the world is Harmony in Red, or The Red Room, by Henri Matisse. But I'm sure that many of you will not like it. And that's fine, that's okay. Art is experienced always on a personal level. It can invoke different reactions and meaning for different people. Art communicates ideas and experiences to an audience. Therefore, art is a narrative. It doesn't matter what the art form is, the art is a story. Some people think that art should be religious, political, or social. If art doesn't help in the progress of society, then it's not art. An example is the mural painting The Last Supper by Leonardo da Vinci. It's an example of art that combines religious, political, and social themes. The painting shows the very moment when Jesus reveals that one of his disciples would betray him, conveying a profound religious message. The historical significance of the painting reflects the politics and power dynamics of the time when Jesus lived, revealing the relationship between various figures in the biblical narrative. The painting served as a social commentary on human behavior and morality, inspiring contemplation on loyalty, betrayal, and the complexity of human nature. There will be a time when I will make an episode about Da Vinci and all of his paintings. Some people think that art should have a deeper meaning. If it doesn't ask the old questions such as where are we from, what happens when we die, what's the meaning of life, and how to live a good life, then it's not art. The painting The Persistence of Memory by Salvador Dalí is full of hidden meanings. Throughout surreal imagery of melting clocks in a barren landscape, this artwork questions our perception of time and existence. And it questions the nature of reality and passing of life. The painting challenges viewers to explore the mysteries of human existence. The artwork makes you think about how short our time is on this earth. Some groups think that art should be only and uniquely a view of the world by an artist. If the art doesn't explore the imagination of an artist, if the artists themselves don't challenge conventions and taboos and provide their own perspectives on the world, then it's not art. For example, Frida Kahlo, a Mexican painter, believed that her art should represent her unique view of the world. Her paintings expressed her imaginations and emotions, revealing her personal challenges, pain, and suffering. She bravely challenged society's rules and showed themes like gender, identity, and bodily experiences in her art. Frida's work is personal and raw. Her use of colors makes us feel everything that she felt. Throughout history, many cultures, subcultures, societies, and individuals have different and often opposite ideas what art is and what isn't art, what is a good or beautiful art, what is a ugly art, what is a meaningful art, and so on. The definition of art is constantly debated. I bet there were lovers of art and critics since the first cave paintings or rock carvings. I'm sure that there was somebody who said to an artist in the cave, "That's not a horse, even if they didn't know how to draw a horse themselves. Ambrose Bierce, an American author, wrote that art is a noun without a definition. Plato said that art is an imitation of imitation. I shall not talk about his philosophy too much, but he wrote that life itself is an imperfect imitation of what is ideal. I don't like Plato at all. He argued that art is 3 times removed from what is actually true about the world. He considered artists to be liars. He even went so far as to say that poets should be banned from society. Let me give you an example. Plato would hate the film Inception by Christopher Nolan, presenting art as an imitation of an imitation. Yes, art has always been debated among philosophers, intellectuals, and even artists themselves. Aristotle was a student of Plato, and he loved poetry. He argued that we can't experience everything, and he was right. We can't experience being a soldier or a doctor and a farmer at the same time. And according to Aristotle, and I agree with him, that is the job of art, especially poetry. When we watch Inception, we experience everything that characters experience themselves. It is not us, but we live through it. When we watch this film, it helps us to empathize with the characters. It helps us to become the best version of ourselves, able to function well in life. When Aristotle wrote about poetics, he put an emphasis on catharsis. Catharsis is the purging of emotions through witnessing intense suffering in a play, especially in tragedy. Catharsis, or emotional release, has a beneficial and therapeutic effect for the audience, providing a sense of relief and purification. My favorite quote from Aristotle that still holds true: "Art completes what nature cannot bring to finish." The artists give us knowledge of nature's unrealized ends. Théophile Gautier in 1880s argued that art should free itself from governmental propaganda or religion and be art for art's sake. His writings inspired a generation of artists who started painting landscapes, ordinary lives of ordinary people, not kings, politicians, nor bishops, not even the biblical or historical themes. Maybe you heard about these artists. They are called Impressionists. Many artists and intellectuals argue that there is no purpose to art. There is no need for it. In our times, art has more diverse meaning. The artists, the critics, and the audience can't always say what art is. We flock to museums and galleries only to be stunned by the prices of contemporary art, especially when we look at something that we don't understand. Everyone asks themselves what it all means. Art historians agree that there are 7 forms of art: painting, sculpture, architecture, literature, music, film, and theater. We have visual arts, that is architecture, ceramics, drawing, filmmaking, painting, photography, and sculpture. Literary arts consist of fiction, drama, poetry, and prose. And performing arts are dance, music, and theater. And more recently, in 1960s and 1970s, we have conceptual art. Conceptual art is an art movement that puts emphasis to ideas or concepts behind the artwork over its visual form or traditional aesthetics. David Sedaris, one of my favorite American writers, said that conceptual art and the drug speed will destroy the world. For most of the history, what art meant didn't arise. It was clear what it is and what was it about. A painting was a painting. On it was a flower, a woman, a man, or a horse. For example, in ancient Rome, underneath its streets and buildings, a literal underground movement was taking roots. It is called Christianity. They have built elaborate catacombs or tombs and painted their walls with depictions from the life of Jesus. Art was used by early Christians as an aid to their ideas and beliefs. When the movement spread for almost 2,000 years, Christian art dominated Europe. From its humble origins, the Christian art will produce great works of sculpture, paintings, sacral buildings, and music. In Japan, China, and Thailand, there are thousands of statues of Buddha. The purpose of the statues is very clear. Be inspired and try to live like a Buddha. As in the West, the Eastern art is to support the religion and its ideas. Jacques-Claude David, a French artist, painted Napoleon crossing the Alps on a horse. Napoleon actually crossed the Alps on a mule. Here, the artist used art as a propaganda. It will inspire totalitarian art in the early 20th century. And then there is Marcel Duchamp. In 1917, in New York, he exhibited his latest work called The Fountain. It was a urinal. He rebelled against the notion that art should make sense or be easy to understand. He argued that art should never be a mainstream, in cahoots with all mass media, government, religion, propaganda, and so on. I must mention one more artist, Mark Rothko. He made a series of paintings seemingly about nothing, a splash of colors and nothing more. They are as abstract as a spoken word or music. Speaking of abstract, Vasily Kandinsky is a great example of art being for art's sake. His paintings are colors, forms, and lines. There will be a long episode on abstract art, I promise. So, what is art? Not easy to define. Mona Lisa is art, Iliad and Odyssey is art, film Inception is art. The official definition of art is that art is expression or application of human activities. We have taught elephants and chimpanzees to paint. Are they aware of what they are doing? I don't know. But it's not only human, that's my point. Ancient hominids did art as well. Homo naledi, Denisovans, the Neanderthals, maybe more, but we didn't find evidence. Yet. Is a selfie made by a monkey art? The law says it's not the worth of copyright. Anyway, this definition that art is expression or application of human creative skills has more problems. If I took a photo of a building, it is a skill, but is it imagined? The building was there before, and most likely long after I'm gone. If I write a list of what food to buy, is that art? No. But the same words, combined in different order, can be a poem. Let me try to explain art from a different angle. Art is a symbol of what society, culture, and the creator decides in a given moment. As a symbol, art has a power to represent ideas. For example, a red rose is often used as a symbol of love and passion, while a dove can represent peace, harmony, and the Holy Spirit of Christianity. In religious art, symbols can carry profound spiritual meanings, and they help us connect with the divine, with the spirits, or with the ancestors. It depends on what the society's beliefs are. Another example, in prose and poetry, symbols are used to add meanings to the text. Writers explore philosophical concepts and social issues through metaphors, allegories, and other symbolic devices. They allow the creators to enhance emotions or ideas. An example of allegory is George Orwell's Animal Farm. Is it the Animal Farm or Animal Farm? I never know when to use the or a in English, because as a Slavic speaker we don't have those. Same problem I have in Swedish. Anyway, in Animal Farm, the author used symbolism to explore political and religious themes, to criticize society, government, and absurdity of human nature. Symbols are representations. For example, water often symbolizes the fluidity of life, change, and renewal. All artists, whatever their art medium is, or whatever their expression is, use symbolism in one way or the other. The beauty of a symbol in art lies in its inability to be read and understood freely by audience. Symbols allow art to bypass boundaries of culture and society. Symbols give us meaning that can resonate across generations. Symbols bridge the everyday life with the one beyond. That's why they are used in religion or spirituality since the beginning of time. But art itself can be a symbol of cultural identity in service of values, traditions, and narrative of society. The example of this is poetry made by Native American tribes. It's about their heritage and cultural identity. Art can also function as a symbol of resistance and social change. During the civil rights movement, the iconic image of a raised fist by Emory Douglas became a powerful symbol of resistance and inequality. Artists have used their art as a means of protest against injustice and oppression, turning their art into a powerful symbol of hope and resilience. Guernica, painted by Pablo Picasso, depicts the horrors of war during the Spanish Civil War. It's such a great painting when Colin Powell, U.S. Secretary of State, declared war on Iraq in UN building in New York. He refused to stand in front of it. The Guernica painting needed to be covered up by a sheet. Art embodies and communicates meanings, emotions, and ideas. It makes it a potent symbol that has an impact on individuals and society as a whole. Many different languages and cultures describe art and artists more or less the same way. The word art in Bosnian language is umjetnost. It means the ability to do something. In French, art, as in English, refers to a skill or the creative expression such as painting, literature, or music. The Russian word iskustvo means art, but also experience. In Swedish, the word konst translates to art. The word konstig translates to strange. In Hindi, kala translates to art and includes many artistic disciplines and creative expressions, but also time. The concept of art is elusive. What different languages have tried to describe, the artist's creativity, skill to do something, experience, and timelessness. But most importantly, in addition to being a symbol or its use of symbols, art is a story that allows artists to convey their thoughts, feelings, and experience in a way that most people cannot. When I was in Florence, in Uffizi Gallery, I had the opportunity to see Michelangelo's David. The words cannot describe what I felt standing in front of it. As a student of art, I've read about it, I have studied it, I've seen pictures, but it doesn't compare seeing it live. I knew that Michelangelo stood in front of it and chiseled David from the stone. I imagined him doing it with a hammer in his hand. I was 19 at the time. The others took photos in front of it, even though the lady there said it was forbidden. I just stood there and marveled at it. For me, artworks are sacred objects. When we see a painting, listen to a song, or we experience an artwork, cultural context and sometimes language itself become secondary. One can admire the classical art of Japan, the Stone Age art of European hunter-gatherers, classical art of Incas and Mayas, or African art, all the way to contemporary art and back. But what truly matters is the emotions and feeling that art invokes within us. Art is everything. I mean, everything that touches us on a deeper and profound way. From a poem that tells us that the search for a perfect cherry bloom is not a wasted life, a song about heartbreak, a painting of a lonely man, to whatever makes us cry or laugh, that's art. What defines art in our personal lives depends on our emotions and personal histories. What we feel about specific piece of work, whatever tells us, that's art. The power of words in literature and poetry immerse readers in the worlds of fantasy, truth, and imagination. The performing arts, dance and acting, use movements and embrace the language of a body, conveying emotions and narratives through physical expressions. The stage in the theater, or in front of the camera, becomes a canvas for actors. They bring characters to life and transport audience into the worlds imagined by the writer and the director. The photographer captures moments, preserving memories and emotions frozen in time. For those who seek laughter and joy, stand-up comedy becomes a platform for artists to craft humor and satire, telling us about the world something that we didn't notice or didn't dare to say. The artists, the comedians, the painters, directors, poets, actors, dancers, they all comment about the world around them. Sometimes it is plain and direct, sometimes hidden, and the observer needs to use imagination to discover the secret meaning of a specific artwork. Sometimes artists play with their art, confusing the audience to reveal something about themselves, about the art, or the society and culture. Art illustrates the human creativity and the endless ways and possibilities in which we can connect with the world and one another. I think the goal of art is to inspire. I think that's the meaning of art. And art is for everyone to enjoy. When we hear the word art, we often think of things found in galleries and museums, like framed abstract paintings or performances by artists that might seem confusing to many. As a result, some people feel that art is not meant for them. They often say, and I hear them saying, that art is for intellectuals and the fancy artsy people. As much as it is with the sports, art is there to entertain too. That is what most of the people don't understand. But not only, it is slightly different. There is a great distance between modern-day audience and the artists. If you listen a song, watch a film, or see a painting, all of it is art. You don't need to have a training as a poet, or a painter, or a sculptor to do art. I, as a painter, cannot go to the doctor's office and diagnose someone. I can, but the law will put me in jail. But a doctor can paint and have exhibitions and sell paintings. There are too many examples of people with quotation mark real jobs quitting whatever they did to pursue the art. Also, I must add that art or art creativity is hard to monetize, to make a living out of it. But why people do it then? It's a curse. Artists are possessed and obsessed people. They cannot help it. If artists don't create art, they die. Is art considered a basic necessity for survival? No. Some may see art as just an entertainment without much importance or meaning for human development and survival, like science or agriculture, but art is crucial to humanity. Art elevates the human experiences and plays a role in the progress of society. Art has a role in the human experience too. It allows individuals to express emotions and creativity. It provides emotional catharsis for the audience. Yes, art is not a basic survival need, but it elevates our existence and gives us meaning and purpose. But also gives the society, culture, and the countries tourism. France, Italy, and Spain are most visited countries in the world because of art. And beaches. But this is the Immortal Art Podcast. I'm only talking about art. Countries that don't invest in their artists and art don't have tourists. Look at the Northern Europe, Scandinavia especially. Everything is practical. There is beauty in that too, but little to no art. A lot of science though. Somebody have told me that France has painters, England has literature, Italy has sculptures and cathedrals, while Sweden has statistics. In my home country, Bosnia and Herzegovina, and I'm a bit ashamed to say that, art and beauty is second to nothing. Bosnians have not developed a sense of what art is. Let me talk about art more. Art is a medium for self-expression, allowing anyone to communicate their inner thoughts and emotions. It can be a form of therapy. There are people with both physical and psychological trauma that use art as a therapy. And it helps. Most famous example is Christy Brown, an Irish writer and poet who painted with his left foot. There is a film called My Left Foot with Daniel Day-Lewis, directed by Jim Sheridan. There will be a special episode more about art therapy. Art is a reflection of society and culture, a mirror of the world, capturing the zeitgeist of a certain time and place. Art is a tool for cultural preservation, passing down traditions and stories from generation to generation. Look at the poetry. Ancient Greeks invented alphabet only to write down their dearest and most famous poem, the Iliad and the Odyssey. Art can also provide social commentary, advocating for change and challenging prevailing norms. Just observe graffiti art, street art. Banksy, for example. The point of art is subjective and varies from person to person. For some, art is a source of aesthetic pleasure, an escape from the mundane realities of life. For others, art is a medium for intellectual and emotional engagement, provoking deep thinking and emotions. The creators behind the artwork come from diverse backgrounds and cultures, each bringing their unique perspectives and experience to their art and art in general. Artists are the dreamers and visionaries who breathe life into their ideas and share them with the world. Many people can appreciate art as a technical skills, creativity, emotional resonance, and the ability to provoke thought or evoke strong feelings. Just as fingers in a hand vary in appearance, so do individual tastes as well. Yet their ultimate purpose is to interact, express, and connect, to grab, to point, to give. When I think of it, also to punch or slap. Creativity is driving force behind art and innovation. Its ability to think outside the box, to imagine new possibilities, and to find solutions to challenges. The creative process is often fueled by passion and curiosity. Art is a testament to a human capacity for imagination and innovation, reflecting the essence of what it means to be a human. So, what is art to you? What does it mean to you? How does it impact your life? Take a moment to reflect on these questions. Try to discover your unique connection to the world of art. I dare you. I recommend you to find a piece of art, a sculpture, a painting, something that speaks only to you. Put it on your wall. I promise it will change your life. It will transport you into the world that you were not aware of. I don't know else what to say in this episode. I want to thank you for joining me and listening. I hope it was inspiring for you. I hope you learned something.